Hello, hello, hello. So excited to be here with you today. My name is Virginia Rivera, and I am going to be your trainer in this Women's Economic Empowerment Series. I come to you from a small little island in the Caribbean called Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, like in a lot of the countries of the world, we have an informal economy. And I want to delve into what the economic impact is when we talk about informal economy. I want to welcome you to IIU, International Internship University. We're in over 195 countries, and I can assure you that we have an informal economy in 195 countries. That is why it is so important for us to address it. IIU is the largest e-learning digital platform. We want you to have access to quality education no matter where you live, no matter where you're at. As long as you have a device and you have internet, we want to make sure that you have quality education at your fingertips. If you look for us in our YouTube channel, you'll find sessions, thousands of them, on different topics that you may need in order to be skilled, to enter, or to be, or to improve in the workforce for this century, 21st century. It is without a doubt, probably the most important thing you will do for you is really continue learning, be a lifelong learner. Our visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, believed that no matter what circumstances, background, gender, every individual should have access to quality education. Education is a right. It's a fundamental right. The only way that we can have upward mobility, the only way that we can actually improve is if we make sure that we are educated. Our topic today in this amazing Women Economic Empowerment series is the informal economy. Informal economy, you will learn, is what you see every day when you're out on the street. Many times we look down on the informal economy, but the truth is that there's so much potential in the informal economy. So without further ado, I want to thank Mr. Piyush Pandit for creating such an amazing platform that allows us all to get together and start discussing the most important issues and the most important topics. Like Mr. Piyush Pandit, an entrepreneur, a social change maker, a brilliant author, you have talents that you can exploit, that you can make work for you. If you're purpose driven, we want you to stay here with us because we want you to be part of our community. If you're a teacher, if you're a mentor, if you have something you want to teach, please join us. If you're a student, this is your moment. There has never been a better time in the world than now for you to get the education that you need. Here at IIU, we move beyond degrees. We want to make sure that you have the skill set necessary to be the most amazing person you can be and to contribute in the world where we all live. So I am going to go ahead and find my presentation. So let me go and do this quickly. Here we go. And I've wanted to touch upon this because everywhere that I go, every country that I visit, I see this and I see how if we really harness the power in this informal economy, we can make great changes. We can harness so much. So let's go ahead and start our presentation. Empowering women in the informal economy. And many people don't even know what informal economy is because we don't address it enough, but it should be addressed every single. Our informal economy refers to economic activities that are not regulated or protected by formal laws and regulations. So you decided that you wanted to make cakes because you want to make 200 extra dollars or rupees or whatever. And you go and you do it at home, you make it, and then you go out and you sell it to your friends. No law, you're protected, you're not registered. So you are part of the informal economy. So there's a formal economy, that's the one that's registered and follows all the regulations and the laws. And informal is that you decided to take it upon yourself to sell something, to move something, right? So the informal economy is so important in today's world. We just need to make sure that we empower our women to be successful in it. It includes activities such as street vending, domestic work, small scale agriculture, and home based businesses. These activities are often characterized by low wages, lack of social protection, and most importantly, it's limited access to resources and opportunities. Women make up a significant portion, to be exact, 60% of the informal economy is actually women, women working. Despite the significant contributions women make in this effort, they have no protection. So they can't really grow as much as they could. I'm not saying it doesn't have potential. We will talk about that now. So the importance of women in the informal economy. Women's participation in the informal economy is essential for economic development and poverty reduction. It contributes to employment generation, income generation, and the overall functioning of local economies. When you are at home and you are walking on your street and you see the different food stalls, most likely, I'm not saying all of them, will probably be part of an informal economy. Nonetheless, they're creating jobs. They're making the money they need in order to pay their bills. So this is very important. And the majority of women have to usually be part of this because the actual formal economy or corporate positions or jobs do not take into account childcare, adult care, domestic work, and all these other things that are given to women as our societal norm, which we should be eradicating as we speak. But we'll talk about that later. The challenges that women face in the informal economy is what I was talking about. These challenges include limited access to resources, financial services, lack of legal protection, social norms that restrict their mobility and decision making power. As a result, women in the informal economy often face lower wages, longer working hours, and higher level of health issues. So, as you can see, we're facing some really, really big challenges. This is a big nut to crack, but it's one that we have to address because everybody today will benefit somehow, somewhere by a woman in their family in the informal economy. So, let's talk about the limited access to resources. Women in the informal economy often face challenges in accessing financial resources. What does that mean? Loans. They don't have enough grants, money to go to the bank and get or to get from a financial institution. Also, grants. We usually have government grants, but if we don't have the help to help us create these proposals, they may never see the light of day. And then women will not have access to that, such as loans and credit. So many countries still do not allow women to have credit in their own name. I know. I know it's hard to believe. If you're in one of those countries, there's so many things that we can do in order to advocate so women can start having credit in their own name. If women can have children, if women can actually raise children on their own, because we all know they can, we may not like it, but we know women can be single mothers. They can actually have their own credit. And I'm going to address a few things here right now. In some countries, even when a man leaves his wife, it's still her fault. She's still looked at as a divorcee or a woman that could not keep her man. And many times that will affect her job employability. She will not get a job. So where does she go in order to make her money to support a family that her husband left her with the informal economy? That is why it is so important that women start talking about this and we realize how important it is for us to be part of this and the solutions that we can find. To expand a business, to grow a business, you need credit and you need. So it is very, very key that we realize that we need to advocate so women can start having access to more resources. Lack of legal representation. It's so easy to understand. Lack of legal protection. We don't have anybody that will go out there and protect us legally. Women in the informal economy are often not covered by labor laws and regulations, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. I think you've seen this. You visited somebody's home. They have a person that's cleaning. The person does not get paid. They get room and board, but they don't get paid. That definitely is not, that's not fair. That is really not fair. So we need to make sure that we address these issues. And if it's a part of a cultural caste system or societal norm, this is something that we need to continue to advocate. Gender-based discrimination. Women in the informal economy face discrimination based on their gender for being women. That's the only reason, which affects their earning potential and opportunities for advancement. Can you imagine not being allowed to grow because you're just a woman, because you have ovaries and because you carry a child? That should never be the reason why you do not get advancement at work. So ladies, this is our time. And men, this is your time to help your country. This is your time to help your planet by advocating for women, making sure that women have access to the best resources, because we know that women work so hard. We have limited skills and resources. Limited skills and education is what many women encounter in the informal economy. They have limited access to education and skills development opportunities. That is why IAU exists. That is why James International School exists. That is why Swarna Bharat Parivar exists. These are social initiatives that bring education to the forefront so we can all learn, so we can all have access to. So please, please, please stay connected to IIU and all the other sister programs that we have, because we will definitely have a program where you can participate and learn. So what's the potential for women in the informal economy? Is there potential? Well, of course there is. We see them every day. It is important to recognize that women in the informal economy also possess an immense potential for economic empowerment. When provided with the necessary support and opportunities, they can become agents of change in their communities and contribute to sustainable development. Let me explain this again. When we're providing women with the necessary support and opportunity, these are tools that will help them become agents of change. That is so important. Economic empowerment of women in the informal economy means enabling them to have control over their own economic resources, access to decent work, and the ability to make informed decisions. I always say that what we're striving for is economic autonomy. People say liberty or financial independence. No, autonomy, where you can make autonomous decisions that will help you and that are in the best interest of yourself and your family. Many women stay in a toxic environment because they don't have access to funding. Many women stay in a toxic workplace because they don't have access to funding. Many women have children in schools where there's a toxic environment. They're being bullied. They're not being treated fairly because they don't have access to financial autonomy. Many women have parents that are not treated with respect because they don't have financial autonomy. So as you can see, the potential for women in the informal economy is huge. They actually need this in order to get ahead. We need to provide women with the necessary skills, and that is why IIU is so important. Knowledge and resources need to improve their economic output. These are the things that will help them better. These are the things that are going to help them grow. These are the things that are going to allow them to participate in government, in business, and in political situations. So, how does this impact the economy and the economic empowerment of women? Increased income and financial stability it really helps economic empowerment of women. It enables them in the formal economy to generate the incomes that they need in order to live. So you see a bunch of women sewing in a sewing porter. You see a bunch of women in a field, in a rice field. You see a bunch of women carrying cardboard in their carts. These are all most likely women that are participating in the informal economy. If we were able to really protect them, give them legal resources, give them legal the right finance, they would be able to grow and expand, be more stable, and be better with their families. That is why the impact is so big. Enhancing decision making power brings women greater control over their economic resources and decision making. I can't tell you time and time again how important it is for women and men to make decisions together. It's not a man's job, it's all of our job. We all need this. Improved well being and quality of economic empowerment has positive impacts in the overall well being and the quality of life of women and their families. You know, when we are being successful in the economy, when we're really bringing in the money that we need in order to be financially autonomous, we become healthier. We eat better, we rest better, we feel better. That is why it is so important that we really empower the women that are in our informal. So, what are the initiatives? What is being done today in order to help us really help and empower women that are participating in the economic informal economy? So, number one, access to finance. Initiatives that provide women in the informal economy with access to financial services such as microfinancing and savings groups. You know, so we see in the United States, we have Christmas phone clubs, we have school clubs. These are financial institutions make little clubs so you can save $20, $10 a month. And then at the end, you may have a certain amount that you can actually use to invest or to actually purchase or expand your business. We also need skill development. And really, this is key. We need to continue to provide skill development training for women. Here at IIU, we believe in the internship. That is skill training. When we teach and we have somebody to learn firsthand, we realize that they learn better. That's why the way we learn best is 70% hands-on. That is how it stays with us. That is how we can actually know that it's going to work. At IIU, we have internships for everything. So talk to us, access us, go to our YouTube channel and find the session that's going to help you get ahead. Legal protection and social security. These are very important to help women in the informal economy. Policies that extend legal protection and social security benefits to women in the informal economy will help us because it will make sure that market linkages and networking initiatives are happening, that we are listening, that we're really paying attention to the things that they want and the things that they need. Gender responsive policies. I have to say this is probably the most. Many countries already have gender responsive policies, but if they're not being reinforced, why do we have them, right? We need to make sure that we are reinforcing. If we see something happening, if we see unjust, unfairness, we need to bring it to the authorities so people can be actually reprimanded and recorrected. There's no point in having these gender responsive policies if nobody's enforcing them. This is so. So, what are the recommendations and the solutions, that we can think about when we're thinking about women working in the informal economy? Providing recommendation and solutions for addressing the challenges faced by women is key. We really need this in order to make sure that it impacts positively their economic empowerment. So, what are some of the solutions? Access to finance, number one. There's so many companies now and NGOs that do microfinancing. I'm going to give you one name, Kiva. So look for it anywhere in the world. KIVA. KIVA is one of those companies that will help you get a loan with a low interest. Provide women in the informal economy with access to affordable and appropriate financial services, such as microcredit, savings programs, and insurance. We need to have access so we can establish dedicated funds or loan programs specifically targeting women in the informal economy. Support the development of women-led financial institutions or cooperatives that cater to the needs of women in this economy, the informal economy. We also need to make sure that there's skill development and training. Offer vocational training and skill development programs tailored to the needs in the informal economy. Provide entrepreneurship training to enhance your business management skills and knowledge. And I want you to stay tuned to IIU. We will be coming very, very soon with our internship and entrepreneurship training so you can grow whatever it is you're doing today. So you can make more money, so you can invest, so you can have retirement, so you can have security, so you can have autonomy. Other solutions, legal protection and social security. Right now, women that work in the informal economy are not being counted. They're not part of a system. So if we're not taking the time to really get to know who they are and we're not protecting them, they're not going to have anything when they're done. After working all these years, we need to make sure that Social Security is so important. We need to explain to them, we have to educate why it's important to be part of the formal economy and make it easier for them so they can be part of it. Enact and enforce laws and regulations that protect the rights of women in the informal economy, including fair wages, safe working conditions, and accessible Social Security benefits. Extend social benefit schemes such as health insurance, maternity benefits, and pension schemes so women in the informal economy can be protected. Raise awareness among women about their rights and provide legal support and assistance. And this comes with education. I can't say enough how important it is for us to make sure that we are actually helping and enabling the women in the informal economy become formal. It's the key. Market linkages and networking. So networking is so easy. And networking is it's nothing else than if you're selling fish in the informal economy and we create a group to support women that sell fish in your area or online. And this is the thing, when we do networking, we get to know other people that may either be a vendor, be a future supplier, be a future partner, or somebody just to talk to about what's going on with you. We need that support. That is so key and so important. Gender responsive policies. Let me explain a little bit what we mean about that. We need to develop and implement gender responsive policies and regulations that address the specific needs and challenges faced by the women in the informal economy. We need to ensure that the laws and regulations promote gender equality, non-discrimination, and equal opportunities for women in the informal economy. It needs to involve women in the policy-making process to ensure that their voices and perspectives are heard. Again, I think that this is probably one of the most important. Gender responsive policies and regulations. We need to develop and implement gender responsive policies that are actually being enforced. We need to ensure that laws and regulations promote gender equality, non discrimination, and equal opportunities. And we also need to involve the women in this so their voice and their perspectives can be heard. How do we strengthen supportive institutions and organizations? When we strengthen trade unions, co-ops, and women organizations like Mujer Emprende Latina, which is an organization that I co-founded with four other amazing women in Puerto Rico. These organizations that support and advocate for the rights and the interests of women, not only in the informal economy, but with the women in the informal economy. We provide financial and technical support to these organizations. We make sure that we teach women about business. We teach women about finance. We teach women how to save. We teach them how to thrive in the informal economy and how to move from informal to formal. We need to foster partnerships and collaboration. That is key, between government agencies, NGOs, community organizations, educators, educational institutions. We all need to work together to really help women that participate. We're 60% of the informal economy around the world, 60%. So we are so much more than half of it. And, that is why it's key that we address it. So in conclusion, we need to promote awareness and changing social norms. It starts with us. If we continue to think that women are only good for one thing, if we continue to think that women are smart enough, if we continue to think that women are weak, if we continue to think that women belong to their husbands and their families, if we continue to think that women can only do childcare, if we continue to think that women are only good for agriculture, if we continue to think that women can't manage funds and money, we will never move from the informal economy. The informal economy is a way for us to go out there and try to earn our living. When we see women selling things in the middle of the street, when we see young girls in the middle of the street, say yes, put your window down, give her whatever money she needs and buy from her. You're promoting her business and you're promoting that she moves from the informal economy to the formal economy. And that is what we all want. We want to make sure that she is moving from one thing to the other. To raise awareness among the general public. This is our job. Policymakers and employers about the contributions and challenges faced by women in this informal economy. Again and again, I can't tell you enough how important it is to address these issues. Half an hour is not enough for us to really talk about the challenges and the solutions, but it is enough for us to pique your attention. I will go over this again in future seminars and trainings, maybe a little longer. If you're interested in this topic, please let me know. Right? I'm very interested in this. I want to help women in the informal economy. This is important in my country, and we'll find more information. I want to thank you for being here with me today because this is a very, very important topic. This is a topic that is not addressed enough, but we see it everywhere. We see women working hard out in the street, trying to book the sustenance to their home, trying to bring it in. I implore you, I invite you to learn more. Please join us here at IIU. Like I said before, our visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, had a dream as a child. He was probably only 8 or 9, that every child had great possibilities, that every child had the same opportunities, that every child had access to education so they could become adults that have access to education and better living conditions. Education is fundamental. Education is. So I ask you, be part of the change. Like in IIU, we're in 195 countries. Find us. And if we're not there, write to us. We want to share with you the knowledge that we are able to have. Remember, if you have a device and you have internet, You can go and be with us live during our internship, or you can actually go to YouTube and access the thousands of sessions that have already been recorded by professional educators, educators that do this every day, that know what they're talking about. They're going to be able to help you be skilled to be successful and thrive in today's economy. Let's support the women in the informal economy. Let's help them move from informal to formal. It's the first step for her to get her financial autonomy, but we can all be part of a better world. We all need to collaborate. We all need to break what is not working. We need to be part of the revolution. Be the revolution. See you soon. Take care. So happy to be here. My name is Virginia Rivera, and I am you.